One. All right, so we're live. Pure random. Mitch and I, we're actually filming a project that we're quite excited to release. The release date we don't quite know yet. Might be towards the end of the month. Um, but regardless, we don't really have any more information on that. It was a bit frustrating filming. Did run into some minor issues, but nevertheless, kind of got over those humps, and now we're going live because it's Monday night and playoffs are rolling, and I got a lot on my mind in terms of sports. So I'm gonna wait for more people to join this. Of course, I do understand that people will watch this later. So for those people watching later, that's cool. Just bringing up the comments here. Brian Kingsley, what's up with you, man? You know, Brian, if you have any questions, shoot them. I don't know how long we'll be doing this, but basically, maybe at least until the start of Connor McJesus game. That was a rough go for them, but not sure if you all saw on the Facebook Red Cape Sports. It was January 12th, and I'm not sure if I shared it on a YouTube video, but regardless, I know I shared it somewhere. So if you guys don't follow me on social media, you might want to go ahead and do so because January 12th of 2020, I purchased a Dominic Kubalik card for $4, and I checked into it today, and that card is quickly going for anywhere from 60 to 80 plus dollars. So not bad at all. Definitely taking my profits with that one, and we'll see how that goes. House names, what you been doing this weekend? I was actually on family vacation. So my wife's side of her family, we went out to basically 1 hour north of Toronto, and that was awful. Let me tell you all what happened really quick. I mean, it was great spending time with the family, my niece and nephew, the whole 9 yards. Got to go kayaking, but day one, I cut my foot pretty badly, really badly, and then re-injured it later. Basically, out on the lake, there's some rocks, so I cut my foot pretty badly. Um, the same day, my waterproof phone, because Google Pixel is supposed to be waterproof up to X amount of meters for such amount of time. Basically, the 100th time I brought my phone into water, it decides to no longer be waterproof. And moving forward with that, brought it to a Freedom Mobile store, which is the equivalent to Bell and Rogers and Verizon, the whole 9 yards. And the 1 year warranty is no longer warranted because water got in it. That happened. And then my work decided that my deadline, because I'm a writer, my deadline then moved up 48 hours. So basically worked half of vacation. Sucks to suck, but regardless, we're going to have happier moments here. Let's see. Talk to me about 2020 Young Guns, other than the obvious top two. Okay, so Young Guns, I've been doing a lot of research, basically preparing for a podcast that I do with Mike DiStefano from TSN Radio and NHL Locked On, or pardon me, Locked On NHL. That's a monthly podcast, so I've been doing a lot of research onto that. Kevin Fiala, there's a name drop that both Michael and myself have named numerous times. Kevin Fiala, his cards are dirt cheap right now, and he actually scored in game one, which was, I guess, bittersweet for Mike because he's a Canucks fan. But Kevin Fiala, you can purchase his cards super cheap. Nikolai Ehlers, there's another name that I've dropped quite a few times. He scored as well. His raw cards are like $10. PSA 10s are around $40. Yeah, and Mitch said that he owns a few too. Again, we're not trying to purchase all these cards and say buy these cards. Like, we're trying to allow you all to purchase the cards early on too. And I believe we've mentioned probably the biggest name right now in hockey. I believe we've mentioned Andrei Svechnikov numerous times. So for all the OGs, if you're holding on to Andrei Svechnikov cards, you're doing pretty well. I believe he just turned 20 20 years of age. But today, unfortunately, against my New York Rangers, recorded a hat trick. This guy's a stud. You're going to see that card price basically overnight. That's going to be $100+ card for sure. Sorry about my phone and foot. Yeah, man, it sucks to suck, but it is what it is. There was great times too. I actually caught several fish, and I caught one with my 4-year-old niece, so that was special. So at the end of the day, it's more than just sports cards. It's setting time aside for family. So that was great. I don't know too much, but pulled 2 sardines or sending. Sandin, pardon me, Sandin. Gotta be honest with you, not quite sure who you're referring to there, but I'm just gonna keep going with other good bargain buys. Let's say, for whatever reason, Alex DeBrincat did not have a great sophomore season, but his cards have just recently dropped down to around $10 Canadian, raw ungraded. But that to me is a steal. I mean, you look at what Dominic Kubelik's doing. Patty Kane's always going to be a stud. Sorry for the noise in the background. Mitch is constantly making noise, even though he's never on camera, constantly making noise. It's ridiculous. But it looks like he's bringing us some goodies, which I believe he is doing. So we'll share those goodies with you all later. But yeah, the Alex DeBrincat is just such a good buy right now. Got some NBA Hoops cards. So while I ramble on, waiting for more people to join, I got this too. Rasmus Sandin. He's a stud. Simply put, absolute stud. Probably not going to get you a lot of goals. In terms of investment, on the top of my head, I'm not quite sure what you're looking at. You're not looking at college fund or anything like that, but he's a good player. Let's see. Steve Kerr. We'll go with Steve Kerr, one of the most underrated players. And it's interesting because I had a conversation with my father-in-law and brother-in-law specifically about guys like Steve Kerr, because we were saying, we were having this whole argument of how players don't play for all the right reasons anymore. I want my $30 million salary. And, they were kind of making the argument of, oh, well, if you truly love the game, you would play for free and all that. And I just stopped, guys. And I guess this is going to be a topic of its own. I think it is extremely selfish as sports fans to say, oh, well, so-and-so is ruining his team. Like I've literally seen at the start of the year, people were giving Mitch Marner so much crap for saying, oh, he's holding out for so much money. He's holding out for so much money. He should be playing for $1 million a year. Okay, here's the thing. And I'll even use hockey as an example. Your lifespan for hockey, for the most part, not everyone's a superstar, but Mitch Marner might play 15 years. Let's say he plays 15 years. That gives him a small window of 15 years to make the most money possible, okay? And I'm not sure if you guys realize, but the difference between $6 million a year and $4 million a year, that's $2 million. Let's be real and honest here, guys. $2 million, that's a lot of money. You can do a lot of things with that. I'm pretty sure most of us would love to have $200 right now. And $200 and $2 million they're two different things. But again, it was an interesting conversation because they brought up Steve Kerr and said, a guy like Steve Kerr never really got paid much. He was kind of the man to do things not in the spotlight. Obviously, he made clutch shots, and look at how great of a champion he is, right? He won with the Bulls numerous times, and then obviously he's done it as a coach with the Warriors. And it was just a really neat, interesting conversation of, doing it for the love of the game, and that aspect was cool. However, I will never, ever, ever agree with them in terms of the payment thing. And the same thing was said, right? So before the MLB season started, they wanted to go ahead and do this prorated payment stuff, which to me is fine, right? Because if you're regularly playing 162 games and then you switch it down to 81, Mike Trout's $30 million should turn into 15. But they wanted to do it in a sense that because he was in a higher tier, they're going to, I guess, tax him more, and he would be making $5 million a year. So how do you give a guy like Mike Trout, who's used to, and I get it, obviously he'll be fine. He can never get paid again for Major League Baseball again in his life, and he and his family and his new recent baby Beckham, they're going to be fine. But to me, it's like, going from 30 million down to 5 for the best player in baseball, it's just not fair, right? And I think we need to seriously start paying these athletes what they're worth, right? It's just that simple. And it's almost like if you're working for McDonald's and your particular McDonald's hits all its goals, whatever you want to call them, and you hit these quarterly bonuses and things like that, as a worker, as an employee, if you've been there 10 years and consistently that particular McDonald's makes more money, you're going to expect a raise. You just are. And the same thing can 100% be said about these athletes, right? These athletes, the better they perform, the more people, obviously before coronavirus, the more people are going to want to show up and buy their jerseys and support them and in the whole 9 yards. And it's like, if Mike Trout is legitimately contributing to packing the stadium out in LA for the Angels, guys, at the end of the day, like pay the players what they're worth. It's ridiculous. We're talking about billionaires, billion, like with a B, right? Mark Cuban has said numerous times that he wants to own an NFL team, but he literally doesn't have enough money, and he's a billionaire. He's a billionaire, and it's crazy. Like we're talking about billionaires arguing with millionaires, and then us normal fans at home are complaining because so and so is holding out because he wants to get paid. And I get it at times. There really can be selfish players wanting to get paid for more money, but my point being is they have X amount of time to make as much money as they need to,
They
right?
also have to deal with fame. They have a lot of fame.
Right. And I'll say this too, right? So I'll name drop a guy locally, a local guy who's in the NFL, Luke Wilson. Okay, Luke Wilson was a tight end for Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks, and then my Detroit Lions. They didn't use him the way that they should have because, in my opinion, he's a better blocker than he is pass catcher. But that is what it is. Regardless, a guy like Luke Wilson will probably phase out of the NFL, unfortunately, in the next 2 to 3 years. So you got to look at it. I think he signed $1 million contract, flat $1 million before agent fees, before league fees, before anything like that. I believe he only signed that once. Let's even say he signed it for 6 different times. That's $6 million. Okay, minus fees and all that. Let's say he wasn't even taxed or anything like that. So we're looking at a guy less than 30 years old. Okay, $6 million. I'm going to cut that down to, let's say, $4 million after fees and stuff like that. Let's just say. Okay, so he's 28 years old or whatever. Is just that going to be enough to last him for life? Most people, if they're smart about their money, put it in the bank, collect interest, and yeah, that'll 100% last them for a very, very long time. But the reality is that with these athletes, they're going to have to work again. Like if you're just making league minimum, you're comfortable. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong at all. You're comfortable, but you're probably going to have to work again. And it's just, you know, if you're a running back, your lifespan's so short, you're not going to make that great of money unless you're a top tier running back and you're physically getting beat up, not getting paid as much as maybe you should. And I'm not sure what Mitch just wrote on the board, whatever that's.
Thoughts on Topps Medallion Series 2.
It's not necessarily my thoughts on that. Mitch and I were actually speaking about this, so Mitch, feel free to chime in. We feel like there's too many products in the hobby. There's so many products for basketball in particular, right? You got NBA hoops, you got Select, you got Prism, you got Mosaic, you got Certified, you got Absolute. Even like there are so many
national treasures as well.
Yeah, like there's so many products, and don't get me wrong, like there's the most sought after one seems to be Prism because it's at an affordable price range that goes up, and not everyone can afford national treasures, right? That's what I'm meaning there. But it's weird and interesting to see the product, or pardon me, the hobby is growing, right? And actually, just this morning, Mike Desfano and I, we had this conversation about the same thing, and we feel like there's more product because the hobby itself is growing, and it doesn't feel like a junk wax era. But at the same time, like, be wary of a bubble. it's great to see all these people coming into the hobby. It is fantastic. And, I'll continue to use the Luka Doncic PSA 10 rookie prisms as an example. There's like 15,000 of those basically. And it might be 13,000, but regardless, there's close to 15,000 of those. But like Frank said, there's more than like a few million people who want it. So I think that's interesting. But all these different products, like there's so many different products, and it can be like if you're just going after the top guy from packs, like it can be a really, really expensive hobby. And that's why I've said numerous times that you're literally better off to just purchase the one specific card, right? And I know that that might be very, very difficult for a lot of like shop owners to hear, and I'm not bashing on that, if because the reality is I'm probably going to get Series 2 of 2021 NHL Upper Deck, right? Because we don't even know who Alexi Lafreniere is coming to. So there's no way he's going to be in Series 1. You know what I mean? There might be redemptions, but like Alexi's not going to be in Series 1 because he's not going to have time to play. Like if it just comes out in November, that's not going to be enough time, at least in my opinion. And we'll see if the season gets delayed, but you know, I feel like a guy like Alexi and everyone else in that draft class, I don't know if they're gonna have a rookie, like a true rookie card until Series 2. So it's like they're just releasing product after product after product after product after product, and they want you to buy it.
Dude, we're entering a parallel junk era.
Yeah, right. And I'm not.
Are we
I'm
in
not
a parallel
saying
junk era?
right. I'm not saying that anyone should be like totally concerned or that your investments are going to go to crap because obviously they're not. Right. I mean, I started off this stream saying like Andrei Sveshnikov's card, they're going to boom overnight after that playoff hat trick. Dominic Kubalik was his first ever playoff game, or pardon me, after 2 playoff games, he's got 5 points and he's off to a hot start. Oh no, actually that was one because he had 2 goals and 3 assists, so he had 5 points in his NHL playoff debut, and that did well. But I guess the point I'm saying is like there's so many products, it's ridiculous, right? And it's like, oh, like we're literally at the point. Let's take Cody Bellinger for example, right? I literally told someone the other day. I said, hey, I picked up a Bellinger PSA 10 rookie, and he goes, which one? And I laughed a little bit because it's a good point. There's a lot of variations, right? So
diversification through the different.
That's just the thing too, right? And it's like even if you say, I said, oh well, I picked up a Tops version. Well, there's a version of him swinging. There's a version of him fielding, and these are just Tops rookies. Like if you just say Tops rookie, people won't know what you're talking about, and that to me is crazy. And I do for a fact think that I don't necessarily think that they're overprinting, but there are many, many more lines. And that to me is weird, right? Because the reality is, a Zion Williamson card, a rookie card, came out in 2019. So can they go back in the year 2021 and print more of his rookie cards? No, like they're not going to do that. But I feel like they may have overprinted a lot of base cards and things like that. So it's interesting. And, of course, I welcome comments. Let's see. What is your best buy? Donruss, Opeachy, etc., depending on sport. NHL, go after the young guns. It seems to be the best bang for your buck. Obviously, there's some more higher end products such as the cup, and even Absolute is really nice. But for the most part, like literally, there's a saying that's like go fishing for young guns, and yeah, go fishing for young guns. Baseball. This is a question that I've been asked a lot personally, a ton and a ton. And people always ask me, would you rather go for Bowman first or Tops Chrome? And it's like honestly, I'm truly starting to lean more towards base Tops. I really am. Not the complete set, but like base Tops, Series 1, Series 2, whatever it might be. Update even. And I know that can be a bit confusing, but there's just something about it, right? Like chromes are awesome, but I don't feel like it was the true intention of the card. And maybe I'm wrong with that, but like that's another thing too. Luis Roberts, like, yeah, he's a stud. He's shown me so much, but why are his card prices so expensive? And Mitch is going to look up what Louis Roberts Bowman first cards are going for. And like to me, this is Zion Williamson all over again. Like the hype between this man, it's crazy. Like that's what I'm saying. For a guy who hasn't even played 10 MLB games, not even had 100 MLB at bats, why am I about to pay close to John Morant prices? Like, is it?
$569 for like a chrome one.
Yeah, like
$349 for the baseball verse, graded 10.
Okay, so you guys heard that? Like $350 for like guys, that's crazy. Like you can literally get a PSA 10 John Morant for that, I believe. And maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's crazy. And another thing,
for that.
Yeah, right. And it's like, okay, one is obviously more proven, and Acuna's a stud. Another card that's like, and I get it. For whatever reason, everyone loves Jason Tatum, and I know I've given Jason Tatum a harder time. But look it up, Mitch. I looked it up today. His PSA 10 Prism card, $1,000. 1,000. Dude, you know how many Cody Bellingers I could buy for that? Like that's crazy. I would give me my 20 Cody Bellingers for the price of one Jason Tatum. Like I'll take that any day.
The Yankees prospect is a lot.
Jason Dominguez.
Why? How is he worth more than established players? Some of his cards are worth more than Luka.
That's what I'm saying here again, folks. Right? Like, yeah, and you're right. Some are literally worth more than Luka Doncic, who's sophomore, already established sophomore player, and it's crazy. And
information
that's
transmits fast.
That's why I'm starting to worry. Like, is this a bubble? I don't know. I'm leaning towards no, and I'm not trying to freak anyone out. I'm just logically trying to think of why is it that these things are happening in such a weird order, and I can't help but to think like, is there someone driving up these prices? Is there market manipulation? I don't know, but it's like, for example, right? We'll take that Luis Roberts again, and Jason Dominguez, and Joe Adele. Those are some of baseball's biggest prospects, and Wander Franco, if you want to add them. Okay, none of them have a Topps rookie yet. None of them. But are the Topps rookies going to be that expensive? I don't think so. I don't think so. But if you look at any other rookies, like I don't know, let's pick a more established player, a seasoned veteran like Albert Pujols. Pujols, you don't really want his Bowman. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's another thing. Like even like Mike Trout, do you want his Bowman first or do you want his Topps rookie?
No, man, you want his Topps. And I mean, mind you, his Bowman first is a great card. It doesn't look great personally, but you'll take it, and it's just weird. Like with the more product that we're seeing, the more it becomes more and more difficult, and that's why I am fortunate to live in Canada, and I am fortunate to in hockey. It's so easy to tell talent, right? Baseball, you got stolen bases, you got defensive play, you got on base percentage. Like you have different types of players, and you have power hitters who might hit for power but not for average. But in hockey, it's like, does it put the puck in the back of the net? And then it's like, okay, what's his young gun go for? Right? Everyone's so set on what's his young gun to go for. And it's that one true established rookie card. Basically since Sidney Crosby. So 15 years. For basically more than 15 years, we've had this established, this is the card to get. And if you live in Canada, like that might be your best sport to start out in because they just make it so easy.
Matthews Young Gun.
Right? But like they really make it easy because even NFL, like if you want, like if you're investing in a quarterback.
Somebody was asking your top NFL pick too.
My top NFL pick? Oh, geez. I mean, I like Josh Jacobs in terms of a running back. Top quarterback. I don't know. I mean, Dwayne Haskins, I guess we can call that a homer pick. I'm sorry, guys. It's just not football season right now. So my head is kind of elsewhere. So on the top of my head for my top NFL pick, let's see. Stafford's got COVID. Come back to me on that one, to be honest. NFL cards are just so overpriced all the time anyway.
Well, what do you think of Brady and Gronk and all these guys forming that. What's going to happen?
Tom Brady is, in my opinion, I'll just go out and say it, he's the greatest established quarterback of all time. To be doing what he's doing at age, I think he just turned 43 today. I think today's his birthday because Gronkowski posted something. So happy birthday to you, Tom Brady. Throwing to Gronk is going to help. Throwing to Howard is going to help. Throwing to Goodwin is like he's got a lot of weapons. I don't think he's a Super Bowl contender, or the Bucks are. Like the defense is still kind of trashy. Um, I wouldn't invest in him this late in his career though. Like I truly feel like there's such a window. And again, it's like Connor McDavid, right? And I know I keep flip flopping sports, but it's like Connor McDavid. Do I think he's still investable? 100%. But do I want to spend like $500 on a raw card right now? No, I don't. Like there truly is that window, and for hockey, it's just so much easier to identify who's going to be a stud. Maybe not easier than baseball, but it's just like you can literally filter through it and be like, oh, this guy's basically scoring a goal every other game, or he is scoring a goal a game, and it's really easy to tell, and like that's the driving force of the market. And without getting too deep into it, because again, shout out to you, Mike Disfano, we're gonna go over it in our podcast, but goalies too, right? Like we're looking at a guy like Elvis for versus uh, what's his name? Cosby there. Anyway, Corpusalo, okay? And even Tristan Yari and Matt Murray and Henrik Lundqvist and Igor Shesterkin. And it's like, I thought Igor should have started over Lundqvist, straight up, being a Rangers fan. Now it's coming out, okay, he's undeemed fit, or he's deemed, pardon me, unfit to play. But okay, like his card prices are going to tank a lot in value. At one point, it was, I believe, $100 Canadian card, and now it's closer to 50. So that tanked a lot, specifically because he hasn't been playing. But like, what do you do with that? Do you sell it? No, of course not, because eventually, all Kings got to hang him up. So Henrik's going to hang him up, and Igor is going to be the next man up. So like, there's a lot of investment opportunities with goalies, oddly enough. Just getting traded and things like that. Marc-Andre Fleury, like when he got drafted, I guess, can we call it drafted? Selected, whatever. Whether he got drafted or selected first, basically, by the Vegas Golden Knights, like his card prices started to shoot up. He was so close to a cup, obviously that would help more, but goalies are starting to be a bit more investable too. Carter Hart for me, and I know often I say don't invest in goalies, but for $40 to $50 Canadian, investing in Carter Hart, like guys, that's the next Carey Price. Like you just got to watch the games, right? Hear the announcers. Like the announcers aren't going to hype up someone who sucks. They're not. The announcers do their research. They know who's the next stud. So, oh wow, I missed a lot of questions here. What should I target for Ehlers? I see his cards for around $3 on ComC, but $6 on eBay. ComC's so far behind in shipping. Spend the $6, honestly. Spend the $6 because by the end of the playoffs, that $6 should minimum be 15, straight up. And actually, many of you can go ahead and argue with me on this, but I believe Mark Scheifele's injury, who knows how long he'll be out for, but I believe his injury is only going to benefit Ehlers. I feel like the power play is gonna highly run through Nick Ehlers. But more specifically, dude, like honestly, buy his PSA 9 or PSA 10. I'm just gonna come out and say that, because when you factor in the price to actually ship in a card, like for example, if you were just to send in one card here in Canada to get graded from PSA, minimum $34, because they're going to charge you $20 to ship it, or pardon me, $20 to grade it, $14 to ship it back. That's $34 Canadian. But you can basically get it for that price, like a PSA 10. His PSA 10s are going for like $35, $40 Canadian. So, in my opinion, go ahead and buy that, right? Kevin Fiala is just a great buy right now. He at one point he looked like one of the better players. Like aside from Elias Pettersson, last night, Kevin Fiala looked like the best player on the ice. And I'm not just saying that because like I have a Kevin Fiala card. Like he impressed me. So um okay. Let's see what else we got here. What do you think about Kuz? I feel like his Optus card for around $6 is underpriced. If you're referring to Kyle Kuzma, yeah, I I think we said it on this show as well too. He's pretty undervalued. Brandon Ingram, we like him too, but his prices are kind of high. I think so. What do you think?
I wanted to get him, but his prices are so high.
Yeah, right. And like that's why we're saying like there truly is this weird window, right? Because it's like there's a lot of players who I have in my collection that I just haven't spoken about in episodes because I'm not gonna tell you all again. Like again, I'll go back to Connor McDavid. He's a great investment, but I'm not gonna say, hey, buy this $500 card and hoping to make $550. Like I would rather tell you guys buy this $4 card and sell it when it's 25. Kind of like the whole Dominic Kubalik card, right? 4 into more than 60. Like that's a great buy and a great ROI. So, you know, um, I really like to focus on those cards because again, if they fail, like if you can afford to lose $5, you can afford to lose $5. Just don't drink Timmy's for 2 days, and there's your money, right? Like there are so many different ways to save up money and invest in sports cards. But and again, like I don't just want to say too, like there's always going to be exceptions to the rule. It's so easy to say, oh well, just hop on eBay and buy the card specific. Okay, but like when Alexi Lafreniere's young gun rookie comes out, as Frank and I are predicting, that's going to be $100+ card. But the very first card that goes, it's going to be through the roof, like astronomical pricing, because they control the market. And I wouldn't necessarily buy one the first week, but I might press my luck, go to Frank's local card shop, and buy a pack or two or a few packs, if you know what I mean, right? Like there's a certain risk reward factor, um, you know, but that's just it, right? So like if you have in your mind that Alexi's card is going to be around $100, you can definitely open up like a blaster or open up a hobby box. But if that's all you want, like the Alexi, I mean, at the end of the day, right? Like depending on how much that goes for, like you could literally spend more money and not get Alexi. You'll have other cards, but are those other cards going to sell well? Who knows? Let's see. Oh, those are some nice cards. Kyle Kuzma. I like this card a lot. These optics are sharp. In terms of NBA, optics probably the nicest looking in my opinion. I think so. Optics are beautiful. There's Kyle Kuzma. Um, there's another optic. Boom. So Kyle Kuzma, pretty good buy right now. I think so. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on second year cards? Second year cards are good players. Is that done?
No, because I was looking at it today, and LeBron James' first Prism card in the Lakers uniform. Look that up. $250 card minimum, and it's like, in my opinion, there's no reason why it should be that much, and like that's at times why I do get frustrated with the market. Look, I get it. Okay, it's.
What if you had a second year Michael Jordan or Babe Ruth?
No, I get that. I truly get that, and it's just frustrating to like see, like at the end of the day, right? That LeBron James card that sold for $1.8 million. No sports card ever should sell for that much, ever, like ever, 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 and it's just ridiculous what. But at the end of the day, right? It's like things are worth what people are willing to spend on them, and I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer by any means. It's just I guess it's just mind boggling to see what cards are worth now. And I feel like, we're just in this weird era now where so many people want to make a quick buck. And unfortunately, that's what kind of ruined the momentum for Topps Project 2020. There's so many people who just joined in specifically with Keith Shore's King Griffey Jr. and the print run was 99,000 something, so almost 100,000. And it's like, at one point you could buy those cards for $20 shipped to your door. Now people are literally like scribbling on them, and some people are selling them for $1. Like economic supply and demand is definitely a large part of this hobby, but just identifying players and like identifying the next stud it's a lot easier than you think. And I'm not saying it's the easiest thing in the world, but guys, like, you utilize the internet to your advantage. Like, it's crazy how many articles are out there saying like, oh, like this player is going to be the next stud. This is whatever. And it's the same thing with Mitch. It's like, if you can afford to take the risk, then do it. Because I'm telling you all right now, Mitch did pretty well on Zion. And he was a firm believer in him. Like, yeah, I mean, he's just holding more cards in his hand now.
Acuna. I got 14 Acunas.
Yeah, now Ronald Acuna is an interesting one because he hasn't been hitting a beach ball lately. Yeah, I mean, I listen. I still think Ronald Acuna is a top 10 player in MLB. Yeah, so we'll see.
How about Ozzy Albies?
Ozzy Albies is off to a hot start. He was dealing with a quick little injury. Screwed me over in fantasy baseball because of it. I had no one else to stick at second base or in my utility because Bo Bichette also got injured, and I was just riddled with injuries my first week. And then Mike Trout's baby. Obviously, I don't, go see your baby, man. Like, that is what it is. So anyway, I ended up losing by one category, week 1 fantasy baseball. That sucked, but you move on. Yeah, man. The gaming god LJ project. I got. I think I don't know what card it is. I'm still waiting on my Derek Jeter, Andrew Teal. Ordered that. I'm still waiting on my Ken Griffey Shore cards. I ordered 2 of them. For whatever reason, that's the one card that I literally ordered more than a few. I ordered 2 of them. Haven't gotten those yet. Haven't gotten Andrew Teal. So it's crazy. Like, Topps Project 2020, they're so far behind, and like it's just losing momentum. And not pointing any fingers or anything like that, but the project definitely died down after a few specific videos were made, and you just leave it at that, right? Like, it is what it is. The Dr. Anthony Fauci, which, by the way, people are saying that's worse. Pardon me. That people are saying that his opening pitch was worse than 50 Cent. Not even close. 50 Cent was off by 50 miles.
Yeah, but 50 is at least a lefty. This guy's a right-handed pitcher. Threw it across his body. Fauci was pretty bad.
Fauci's pitch was social distancing. We'll leave it at that. It was social distancing from home plate. So no comment.
Too political.
But the question are, what are his cards prices worth? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't taken the time to look at it.
Expensive.
I'm sure they are, right? Even one of my favorite ball players growing up, Andrew McCutchen, because he was the first autograph I ever received through the mail. Andrew McCutchen's cards, it was a short print of his chain, and he's holding out, and I think he's holding like a Dixie cup. That card price, like when it came out, that was like an $80 card at one point. So, yeah, just goes to show you, like, rookie cards, while they're king, you don't just need a rookie, right? Like, you can definitely make some good money. Let's see.
Fauci card was sold for $170.
$170. So
180.
There you guys go.
Consistently 150 Canadian.
Wow.
For the Topps now. That's stupid.
Yeah. How do you think Kaprizov will do in the NHL? I think Kaprizov's it'll be interesting to see who gets him. Like, if he goes to Ottawa, pair him with Brady Tkachuk. Again, like, it's hard to say when I don't know who these players are going to. But He's built for the NHL. Quentin Byfield's going to be a stud too. Oddly enough, though, there's a lot of people saying that Quentin Byfield should be the number 1 overall pick. And to you, I say kick rocks.
No.
Kick a ton of rocks and keep kicking them.
Lafreniere is well more rounded.
I'm just saying, people, legitimate scouts for NHL are making the case for Quentin Byfield because his size. But Martin St. Louis wasn't that big.
How big was Paul Kariya? He got smoked by Scott Stevens, came back at a game-winning goal.
Yeah, and then he never played again after
that. Okay, he died.
So,
he got hit worse than Rob.
But he scored. Yeah, that was funny because our brother Rob doesn't watch this, so we'll just mention it. Okay, quick little story time. Our brother played house league hockey. He had a white jersey, a white helmet, skated like Jason Blake. Just awful. He let's put it this way. He tried his butt off. Rob tried so hard. And he went into the corner for a puck. And Mitch and I still remember this. Guys, like a pancake.
The crowd went nuts.
You could hear a pin drop after that, though, because people thought he was dead. Like, his head was this close from going through the glass.
Instant concussion.
Yeah, and I don't think he even picked up his stick. I think he just went to the bench.
Oh,
this happened, 20 years ago? Like, this happened, no, not 20 years ago, but 15 plus years ago. This happened a long time ago. And yeah, we never saw a guy get hit so hard. Like, he got hit so hard.
He looked like one of those dummies that are in the vehicles when they do the testing.
Yeah. he got whacked, guys.
He can skate, though.
Yeah, but without bashing him too much, he had a pretty wicked curveball. He was okay.
Are you in a studio or in a house?
No, we're in a studio.
Tell them about our new thing.
Yeah, we're in a studio, but we're getting a brand new studio. Mitch is funding it, which is great. I just get to be the host.
Funding everything.
I know. But over to the right, which you guys cannot see now, we're gonna have some updated stuff. We're gonna have original art, right, of Luka Doncic and Zion Williamson.
Don't give away everything.
No, I'm not. And that's basically it. We're having a new studio. Not a new studio, but a new redesign. So we're
renovating.
Yeah, we're renovating. We're looking forward to that. So I think the episode qualities are just gonna go up and up, honestly, guys. And we're gonna have more Frank on here. I had so much fun doing the live stream with Frank. I have a lot of fun doing this too.
It'll be more interactive though next time.
Yeah,
maybe
right.
We'll pull things up.
Yeah, and I know.
Let's ask them what else they want to see.
Right, and Les Alex has mentioned that he wants to go on live streams with us too, and we're gonna do stuff like that all the time. And Mike DiStefano is obviously becoming more and more of a pretty awesome guy. He's awesome. So, very knowledgeable in the sport of hockey too. Knows his stuff. So, if he wants to come on, hey buddy, text me. So
hey, ask them if they want to see some funny videos over the winter. Maybe we could do some funny videos of us shooting pucks or see who has the hardest slap shot or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Obviously, okay. For the record, I don't have a hard slap shot, but Mitch, legitimately, you have a slap shot that's on par. And the guys, this literally is going to sound crazy, but Mitch has a slap shot that's on par with some NHL players. Literally.
I've been clocked over 90 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That was years ago. I'm out of shape now.
Yeah, Mitch has always had, dude, I remember in high school, it was my good buddy Dan. It was my good buddy Dan Fontaine. Okay. Here's a kid in grade 9. Yeah, literally, here's a kid in grade 9. He's starting in between the pipes. He was a decent goalie, not great or anything, but it's in warm-ups, right? You're running the drill. They pass it out to the point. Mitch has got it. Mitch just rips a clap bomb in Dan Fontaine's right in the face. And I swear he was playing an entire game, an entire season concussed. This kid literally told me afterwards. He's like, I have no idea where I am. You got to tell your brother not to do that again. So that's what it is. And I will say this too, because at one point Mitch used to kill guys. Mitch would lay the body, but there was one time, and he's gonna deny it, but it's true. You can ask my mom. You can go on our
No, you
Facebook
can't share
page.
that one.
You can go on our Facebook page at Red Cape Sports and tag Cynthia, and she will tell you Mitch got laid out by this girl. Like, dude, you got laid out.
Dude, there's no way.
You got laid out. I promise you. Swear on my life. Cross to die. You got laid out once.
Okay, well maybe I fell. I mean, the ice is slippery.
You got laid out.
Always sharp in the
I'll
seats.
just leave it at that. So, do you
I
think
they
OBJ
can kick Fry
cards?
once, though.
OBJ cards aren't going to pick off because if they haven't picked off yet, why are they going to all of a sudden start? Wide receivers cards are just, I don't even know why they make them. It's like the same thing as making an offensive tackle. Like, no one's going, oh, you want to see my prize possession offensive, like my center, like, or
Want to see my Metis?
like the only thing you might hear is literally this. You want to see my Pat McAfee? You might hear that, but like, you know what I mean? No one like wide receivers. People just don't care about anymore.
Say the story when you showed when it was late at night and you were showing this girl your cards.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, remember you were like, "Hey, want to see my sports cards?"
No,
You don't want to share that?
I don't remember that.
Okay, we'll just pass on that.
I don't remember that, honestly. I don't know. Brett Howden. Somebody just mentioned Brett Howden. I was wearing his jersey early on today. Shout out to Frank because Frank's giving me a pretty sick Brett Howden card.
Oh, what do I get?
Mitch got nothing. Brett Howden. Honestly, I'm a bit disappointed in his first. I think it's been 2 years now with the Rangers. He was an absolute shock to make the team coming out of camp. Full on disclaimer. He was a stud in the WAHL, but honestly, I feel like he's such a great penalty killer, and he blocks shots. Nearly blocked the second Carolina goal tonight. I like Brett Howden. Last year he was my favorite player on the Rangers, honestly, more so than Mika or Kreider or Kevin Hayes even in the past. But Brett Howden's a young player who I think needs more time to develop. Almost a lot like Mitch, who's like, Robert Thomas. Almost a lot like Robert Thomas, who is a stud in the O. But coming up just needs more playing time, needs more time to develop. It's just like Capo Caco. Like Capo Caco, in my opinion, is going to be a stud, but he's not getting the playing time. And it's the same thing. Like Elias Anderson, whatever the heck is going to happen with Elias Anderson, it's like he wasn't getting the playing time, and 7th overall pick, and people didn't believe in him. Whatever happens with the Rangers, and I know that he's mentioned he's got a few mental health issues. We'll see what happens. But like Brett Howden, I think he's a great role player, but is he investable now? Honestly, I have 3 of his cards, but that's just because I love him.
Would you tell people to buy his card?
If you can afford to lose $2, yeah.
Don't buy his card.
Honestly, you can afford to lose his card.
Zion won tonight. What do you think of the Pelicans? Do you think they'll make playoffs?
No, I really don't, because like if you look at it, the Lakers the Mavericks clinched a playoff spot. That's likely going to be the 7th spot, but then who's going to get that 8? And in my opinion, even though they beat Memphis is going to get that spot. Like if you look at all the other teams competing for it, it's likely going to be Memphis, right? Because Memphis is a better team than Phoenix. They're a better team than Washington. And
Lonzo Ball sucks. Lonzo Ball needs to retire.
Dude, the Ball family is just a joke. Like, just a joke.
Lonzo Ball,
so ridiculous. But his brother LaMelo is going to be a stud.
Yeah.
LaMelo is going to be a stud. He is a stud.
He's on my list.
Say that. So, yeah, Mitch has a list apparently. Yeah. Let's see this. The 80s or 90s philosophy making that argument for the size of the player. Byfield is a center too, whereas Lafreniere is a winger. Okay. You just triggered me, dude. You triggered me. Okay? Who said that? Graham. Here's why you triggered me. Because my friend Garrett Fedora says the same thing. Oh, he's a centerman and he's a winger. Centermen are so much more valuable. Shut up with that stuff, okay? Artemi Panarin, potential MVP candidate. He's not a centerman. Ovi, he's not a centerman.
Malkin?
Malkin, I believe is. Pasternak. No, he's not a centerman. Leon Draisaitl.
It's a different kind of play.
So,
though.
like, yeah, but I mean,
You go where the puck goes when you're centering.
but to use the argument, a centerman is much more valuable. Get out of here with that. Like, that's such crap. Like, that's awful. That literally the greatest goal scorer of all time, Ovi, is not a centerman. He's not.
You just triggered people for many reasons.
No, they triggered me. I'm so tired of that argument. Oh, right shot defenseman. No, and then people are like, oh, right shot defenseman so much more valuable than left shot defenseman. Okay, maybe true. They're more rare, valuable. Guys, get out of here with that. Like, you got to get over this nonsense. I mean, at least if you said, it's more valuable to have a left-handed throwing catcher behind home plate, then I would legitimately think you're nuts. But I don't know, guys. It's just, and I know, Graham, not to get upset at you because I know what you were saying, like in terms of why the scouts are saying Byfield's more valuable, but it's like, it's talent. Like, talent is talent is talent. Like, that just upsets me, right? That's like saying, oh, well, this guy can play center field, but this guy can only play right field. Who cares? Like, who cares? Aaron Judge doesn't play center field. Do you want him on your team? Yeah, you do. So I don't know. I just get frustrated with that stuff. Ovi puts the puck in the back of the net.
Ovi also fights guys. Didn't he knock out Svechnikov?
He did.
Who did Gretzky knock out?
No one. Gretzky had 2 goons on the ice at all times to protect him.
I heard the one guy.
And Gretzky was a dirty player, though. Gretzky took a stick to a few guys' faces. Like, Gretzky was dirty.
He made a hot daughter.
No comment. Let's see. Looks like you are in a studio. Okay. That is old school thinking. I agree Lafreniere is the better player and should be number 1. Thank you. He's a stud. And honestly, I would
love you, Graham.
Yeah, we love you, Graham. I would like Graham Cracker.
Oh, Graham Cracker.
Yeah. We would like to personally see Alexei in a Pittsburgh uniform. Because, and hear me out. Okay. Right now, he has better OHL number or QMJHL numbers at Oceanic Rimouski, right? He has better numbers than Sidney Crosby, and Sidney Crosby went there too. So if they both follow that route, they'll be so comparable. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know. It's a different time for hockey too, and I'm not saying by any means he'll have better numbers than Crosby, but he's a generational talent. He truly is, and it's like, I feel like with everything happening, he didn't get the hype that, like, Connor McDavid was hyped, man. I still remember my buddies and we went out to Connor McDavid's last game in Windsor in the OHL, and like it was kind of surreal to like see such a kid. Oh, it was well deserved. But what I'm saying is, like, okay, even Andrew Wiggins was hyped. Like, here in Canada, he was hyped. Like, when he even made the decision to go to Kansas, that was a big thing. And to me, he kind of flamed out. Like, he definitely did.
Jason Spezza?
Oh, Jason Spezza was great. Eric Wellwood was going to be the next big thing. That's a name drop.
He was?
Yeah. His grandma, fun fact, Eric Wellwood's grandma used to have season tickets next to us at the barn, and she had the smelliest dill pickle chips. And I used to tell my dad, I'm like, I am not going to the game if Mrs. Wellwood's going to be there, because the dill pickle chips just smelled so bad. But
remember, he would dance around guys. He would put the puck between their legs in the court. Yeah. He would make fun. He would take out his mouth guard and chew on them, and I'd be like, "Oh, that's kind of disgusting." So what happened in the NHL? People were just as good as he was.
He never panned out. That's just the reality, right? Let me put it this way, right? Because you played college baseball, right? You go to high school and you're the best player on your high school team, but then you go to play to college. Everyone on your college team was more than likely the best player on their high school team. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Some weren't good, but some were.
No, I'm just saying.
Some got drafted. Some were way better than me.
Right, and then from there you go. What do they call it? All-American, right? Well, then you're All-American. You're the best of that. So it's like now you have the best of the best who made it to college, and then you go into let's say the MLB, and then you have the MLB's All-Star team, right? So like there's so many different tiers.
But even before that, you have single A, double A,
yeah,
triple A.
Right. So it's just like, and okay, but Jason Spezza, I would argue, is still a decent player. I mean, he's a role player right now in a pretty good market with Toronto. So, shout out to Jason Spezza for sure. Love me some Jason Spezza. Crosby is the center. Yeah, Crosby's the center, but Mitch, don't play that. Don't play that. Don't play that. Oh my goodness. Mitch just played Jason Spezza's laugh. His nerdy laugh. Yeah, Crosby is a center. I'm not quite sure if I said if Crosby was a winger or not. Obviously, he's a center. He's been a center his entire life, basically. Mitch Marner even. Mitch Marner's not a center.
Crosby was very hyped. A lot of people were saying he's going to be better than Gretzky.
Yeah,
when I was in grade school.
Yeah, I remember that. No, I remember that too. I still remember where I was the moment I figured out that he was going to Pittsburgh. I was in the farm shop. I was at the shop in the farm, and Dad was telling me all about this kid. They called him Sid the Kid, and I'm like, Sydney, what a weird name for a boy. Like, but obviously that is what it is. It's so weird. Like, we've seen all these players and like all the hype. Like, Greg Oden had hype, but then that was an injury. But it's like
I wouldn't have bought his cards. He looked like he was going to get hurt.
Greg Oden bullied guys. Like, you have no idea. Look up his highlights.
But he was a bully. He did not have the fluidity of.
He was a center.
He didn't have fluidity though, like Zion or
like Shaq. Shaq didn't have that though.
Shaq could move for his size.
I don't know, but okay, I'm just trying to focus on like guys who had a lot of hype who didn't pan out, not due to injury. Like, in my opinion, and I'll just flat out come and say it, Johnny Manziel wasn't given that much of a chance. Like, he had a he had a terrible Cleveland Browns team. And the same thing can easily be said about Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow had a better winning record than most people. Oh, but he threw the ball funny. So? Okay, he threw the ball funny. So what? Like, who was it? Amari Stoudemire? Have you ever seen Amari Stoudemire shoot a basketball? Dude, he was like shooting it from his chest, and it looked like he was doing like some swimming act. Like, it was so weird. Let's see what we got. Brian Fogarty beat Bobby Orr's record and fell flat in the NHL. Yeah, right. It's just the reality. Like, there's so many players who actually Ernie Godden. So Ernie Godden, which is another name drop close to our family. Okay, Broden Milosh. Okay, Broden Milosh. Oh, I never thought I'd like shout him out on the show, but Broden Milosh, one of our cousins. He was the captain of a junior C hockey team. Would that be his stepdad? Yeah, his stepdad, Ernie Godden, to this day has the OHL record for most goals in a season. He was a stud. Dude, he was a stud. And then he went on and played a few years in the NHL. But, like, if I name drop him, you're not going to know who I'm talking about, Ernie Godden. But to this day, he's still, dude, like, look up his stats, actually. Ernie Godden, he played for the Windsor Spitfires. To this day, he still has the record for most goals in a single season. I think it was 82 goals or something. Just something ridiculous.
87 goals as a junior in the OHL.
Yeah, 87 goals. In how many games?
Well, I don't know that.
Okay. But
87 goals in 68 games.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
Like Lemieux.
Not bad. If I had $1,000, what player would you recommend I use my money towards? Depends who your
research, save it, and then fire. Be patient.
So that's what Mitch is saying. Research, save, and then fire. But
Lemieux got 133 goals in 70 games.
But that was the Q. I'm just saying that was the Q. The Q's known from Mario Lemieux probably would have been the all-time goal scoring king if he didn't get injured.
He had the most goals per game.
I'll come out and say that. No, he didn't. Look it up. He did not have the most goals per game.
Goals per game?
He didn't.
Like when he was playing?
He didn't. It was I don't. Esposito was up there for sure.
Later in his career, he died down, but he was hurt. That's why.
So, anyways, to get back to you, Mitch is saying if you had $1,000 in terms of investment to save it, research, and plan, I believe that there are a few still undervalued players. I really do.
Who would you buy now?
Austin Matthews, in the sense that other than Patrick Kane, like Patrick Kane might be the best American-born hockey player.
Ask them if they want to go low risk or like for sure make like double their money.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do?
So yeah, like I guess that depends on what your investment strategy is. Like if you have $1,000, like are you trying to go like big risk, big reward, or
and are you also trying to flip it within a year? Like that's a big Because if you're looking at a sure bet, I would buy like.
Okay, so he said, would Nikolai Ehlers be a buy? I would probably buy cheaper cards. So like if you're looking to buy many cheaper cards, buy like, let's say if you have 1,000, okay, buy like 5 $40 PSA 10s of Nikolai Ehlers. Buy a few. Let's see who else could flip quickly for cheaper mid range.
I like Aaron Judge 1 to 2 years.
Yeah. I mean,
I think he's going to have an insane finish.
He's already having a great year. He's off to a great start. Acuna maybe a bit expensive for that. Like it's hard to flip 100 in a, like again, I don't know your timeline. I'm just thinking on the top of my head here still.
Underpriced Luka Doncic if you're going to do it quick.
Yeah, like it depends, right? Okay. When buying raw with intent to grade / flip, do you have a set ratio you would like to see between raw PSA 9 / PSA 10 pricing, or when you buy raw to grade, is it mostly for holds? When I buy like PSA 10s, it depends. So, full transparency in here, okay? I bought an Artemi Panarin PSA 9 for $20 shipped to my door in September or October. Either way, it was like 2-3 games into his New York Rangers career. Right now, I believe that same card is going for 100 plus, like 120 bucks. The only reason why I'm not going to sell that now is because he's coming off an MVP candidate season, and I feel like he can improve on that, right? Like the Rangers haven't done anything in playoffs, and he's still quite young, so like I'm not going to sell that yet. But my Nikolai Ehlers, full transparency, if he pops off in playoffs, I'm selling that. If he doesn't, okay, I try next year. Like that's kind of how I'm going to think about it. I think the best tip of advice that I can give you is buy the card on the back of it, write what you got it for, and write what you're willing to part with it. Right. So, like for example, Dominic Kubalik, I was willing to sell that card for like $15, but now it's already going for like $60+. It might even go up for more. I don't know how he's doing right now as we speak. I know that he's playing it again, but it's like, hey, full transparency. If you all even want to purchase the card, it's literally on sale for eBay right now as we speak. And I'm happy with whatever I get for it from here on out because I purchased that for $4. Like, I think it just depends. And I also want to mention that it can be a bad thing to hold on to a card for too long. It could be a bad thing. It really could be. Frank Gore may not be the best example. I don't know, guys. It's just like there are a lot of people, and like you do want to sell them while the hype is still there, while they're still relevant. Jeremy Lin, right? He had that couple weeks, maybe a month even, that they called Linsanity, and now his cards are like 75 cents. Like there's such thing as holding too long, so just be wary of that too. I have a whacked OGs, love him, but I'll probably dump him this playoff run. It's getting a lot of attention. Is Yelich a buy, sell, or hold right now? Not a buy. That's quite expensive coming off that MVP candidate season. I'm not going to sell him anytime soon. So he's a hold. Christian Yelich is a hold. He's a stud. Like, he's a stud. What else do we got here?
It's hard to say how long to hold the card because we're at a point where the market is just so strong right now. But if you want to battle against that, then you just want to make sure that what you're holding, you have to make sure that they're going to improve for a reason or another.
Yeah. See, like for me, right, and I'll go back to Dominic Kubalik. Okay, I got it for 4, and I am selling it. Okay, because I'm gonna make a mad profit on it. Nothing's stopping me from the start of next season when he's forgotten about, because the Chicago Blackhawks likely aren't going to make a deep playoff run, and he's likely not going to win a Stanley Cup, right? So I'm selling it at his high for this season. Nothing's stopping me from buying it at the start of the next season when it goes down back to normal prices. Nothing's stopping me from doing that. And in the meantime, I can use this money to fuel other investments. You see what I mean? To me, you always want to have money in your bankroll because there's good deals all the time, and it's tough, right? Like it's tough having to dip into your profits to pay bills and to pay, life still goes on. But I'm more of a leaner towards it's very risky. Like if you can sell a card for $500, knowing that it very well could potentially go up to like 750, but you got it, let's say, for $20. Sell it for 500. Like you will thank yourself later. You really, really will. And even if it does go up to even like 900, just you almost forget about it because you invest in so many different sports cards. And I get it, it is important to track everything like that, but you'll have already invested that $500 into another card or cards plural, and like you almost forget about it. You know what I mean? Like it's if I were to track every single card of what's doing what, it would take me forever. And I get it. There are tools such as Sports Card Investors, Market Movers Data Tool. I know that he has that feature now, but it's like
pump his tool on our show.
I know.
I'm just kidding.
But it's just like it's.
I liked his live event, by the way.
Oh, nice.
It's very good.
So, Darius Basley and Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish is another sneaky undervalued guy. So is RJ Barrett. Like RJ Barrett, the New York Knicks organization, that's massive. Like that's a big organization, and we'll see how he ends up panning out. But I mean, the last superstar that they had KP for a little bit, but I would argue like the last true superstar was Carmelo Anthony, and that was dwindling down into his prime. Like as soon as he left Denver, wasn't the same type of player. So RJ Barrett he's a stud. Mitchell Robinson is underrated. I keep hearing that, but I don't see any performance. I keep hearing that. Like I'm not sure if that's a sports card investor thing. Like honestly.
Yeah, like Lonzo Ball.
Yeah, like I know that he's invested. Like he's been hyping up some pretty crappy players. Not gonna lie, right? Like I'll just flat out come and say it. There's some questionable hype ups there.
What about Bol?
Bol, the hype after his NBA debut maybe was the right time to sell his card. I don't know, but we'll see. Like I think there's a reason why we don't see many 7-footers in the NBA. Like there's got to be a reason, right? Like they're not built for the NBA. They're just not.
You got to be strong now too. It's changing. Tall and strong.
He's tall, but like I feel like he can snap. So I've been buying Kobe White for basketball. Mention it seems like the rest of the whole world loves Kobe White, but I haven't been impressed yet. For the type of players that I like to invest in,
I don't like them long term, but
I'm just saying personally for the type of players I like to invest in, like and actually I was mentioning this the other day too, and this is hear me out, guys. This is the reason why I'm not investing in Jason Tatum. Aside from the amazing, ridiculously overpriced value of his cards. The thing about Jason Tatum, I don't sit at home and go, oh, I can't wait to go home and watch Jason Tatum. I can't wait to watch him be fundamentally sound and fundamentally score free throws. You know what I mean? I can't wait to watch Luka with his step back 3 and his swag, and he's always smiling. I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait to watch Zion bully guys. I can't wait to watch LeBron take over a game. But nothing about Kobe White excites me. Like, it just doesn't. Okay, and he's gonna consistently be a 20-point scorer, but nothing about it excites me. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't. LeBron is muscle and a freak and takes over a game. Even Russell Westbrook, I was watching his defensive play, his hands in the lane. He's fun to watch. Nothing about Kobe White is fun to watch. Nothing about Jason Tatum. You can say what you want about Jason Tatum. He's not fun to watch.
How come Jason Dominguez cards are skyrocketing?
Dominguez?
Yeah.
Dominguez. The hype is that a question from someone?
Yeah.
Oh, New York Yankees organization. And this is a guy who, the only guy who I can really compare him to is Wander Franco. He's got a bat, and he's speedy.
You see how big he got?
Who, Wander?
No, Jason.
Yeah.
He put on like.
But the thing with Dominguez is like, where is he gonna play? Like, honestly,
Aaron Judge. How's he gonna get in front of Aaron Judge? He may be one of the most.
Aaron Judge. They got.
Aaron Judge may be one of the most feared home run hitters right now.
Yeah.
He's terrible.
And I hate to tell you all. Because I own, I think, 5 Pete Alonsos. Pete Alonso is not going. I don't think we'll be talking about Pete. It's the Chris Davis effect. Whether you're talking about Chris with a C or Chris with a K, the home run hitters, I think you're going to see Stanton and Judge. But home run, like, just when all you can do is hit, but you're not hitting for average. Like, when you're just trying to hit the ball as far as humanly possible, you're not playing baseball anymore. And no, but like, you know what I mean? Like, we've all played baseball, and like, let's agree here. Like, you're not going up to the bat. Like, when you're successful, when you're in the zone, you're not going up the bat trying to hit the ball as far as humanly possible.
Yeah, Jose Bautista.
No, Bautista wasn't doing that though. Like, Bautista, when he was at his best, kind of leveled out his swing. And look at Vladdy Jr. Vladdy Jr.'s hitting a lot more balls on the ground this season. He's switching his swing. And which is weird because baseball's starting to value the long ball more, right? Because more statistics are telling us what good is a triple if you're stranded at third. So, and again, I've said this numerous times. I would rather a guy hit 50 home runs and 100 plus RBIs, but only bat 250. But the thing is, Pete Alonso's hitting like a $135 now. Like, he's so focused on I'm behind in the home run race, and I have so much ground to gain, and I only have 50 games left. Like, he's so focused on that, and it's this particular season, he's not going to do well. I'm telling you, man, he's not. And I've seen this time and time again, and that's why I didn't invest in him again. So we'll see if I'm right on that.
How about Tatis?
Good investment in Jason Dominguez right now? I don't think so. Thoughts on Michael Porter Jr. and Jaren Jackson Jr.? Jaren Jackson Jr. is the better buy right now. I think so. Michael Porter Jr., listen, he, as they say, he shoots the piss out of the ball. But those injuries are a real concern. I'm starting to realize, and okay, Mitch and I were even talking about this. Zion looks, he's good. He's a stud and everything. But there's a few moments. If you just, like, don't watch the game, just watch Zion.
Before the break, though, before COVID
happened, you called me and you told me you're worried.
I said, there's a couple games where I'm like, he's hurt.
Yeah, like, it's weird. Like, I do the same too with the Mavericks. I just watched Luka, and I watch the way he runs and he does everything. Pardon me. And that's why I feel that they're going to knock off the Clippers. Luka's doing everything with such a, like, he knows in the back of his mind that he's got, like, a playoff spot clinched, and he's doing everything so effortlessly. And maybe that's the homer in me. Maybe that's the Mavs fan in me talking. But even Kristaps. Like Kristaps got back-to-back 35-point games, 16 rebounds. Like, and now you're having guys who I haven't heard of since college. Trey Burke. Trey Burke's coming in and putting up 30 points. Like, Dallas Mavericks are going to be a sneaky playoff team. So we'll see what happens with that. Okay. He may be a role player or a superstar. Or a starter, not a superstar. Yeah. Zion will not pan out. You hear that, Mitch? Someone said Zion will not pan out.
Who said that?
He may be a role player or a starter, not a superstar.
Wait till he actually plays a lot of minutes.
I'm just saying.
It is weird what's going on with his minutes. But dude, he gets a point a minute when he plays well. So false.
We'll see.
Why are his prices $1,000?
Thoughts on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? I wouldn't say undervalued, but he's a stud. It's just like basketball in general. Like it's really hard to invest in basketball and in football lately because the prices are just so high. Like there's something about America and their love for basketball and football. Prices are just high right off the bat. Like, you know, and it's like I would love to own a Luis Roberts card, but I'm not spending